Welcome, guys, to the weekly energy update. My name is Chloe Metcalf. I am from Mama Heart Space and the Wild She. And we are doing the weekly energy update for the 9th of April 2018. I am a little unwell today, so you'll have to bear with me. My energy is not as super high as it normally is, and I'm looking a bit puffy and a bit tired. But my entire household got cold, and so I'm a bit flushed as well because of a little bit of a fever. But I'm all right, and I felt like I enjoy doing this, so it's also my peace and quiet away from children crying. So I'm here and I'm doing it. So and I'm also feeling very vulnerable today. The energies that have been coming through has really so today is the 5th of April that I'm recording this. The energies that have been coming through this week have been very deep in unblocking things personally for me that perhaps before I was seeing, but I was too afraid to share, or I was acknowledging, but the only way to get through it and work through it was by actually sharing it properly and being public about it. So yeah, if you guys want to know more about that, head over to Mama Heart Space on Facebook, and you can see my post there. But feeling very like the realization that I've been doing a lot of distracting of myself and not really fully being in my light. And so for me, it's really important to move beyond that. And until the retrograde is done, I am going to complete my healing process properly, because that's what retrograde is great for, is healing and doing proper, real deep healing processes, realigning, getting real, all of those things. And so, yeah, once I've completed that, you'll be seeing a bit more of me then. So, but until then, it's recharging, realigning, resetting, and all of the good things. So anyway, let's move beyond that and we'll move into the energies for next week. It's the reason why I feel like talking a little bit about the energies of the past is because this week we're going to have a lot of stuff from the past kind of surfacing, especially from this year so far. So revisiting things from the year so far. The moons that we've got coming through. So on the 9th, we've got the Aquarius moon. On the 11th, we have the Pisces energy come back up again. Then on the 14th, we've got the Aries energy, and we are finishing the week out in Taurus on the 16th. But then we move into Gemini on the 18th. So I think this is really interesting, the way the moon is kind of going to play about this week, is because it's like we started the year, we started the year in Capricorn, but you know, we're completing that. We're moving into Capricorn in the next couple of days. But we're starting the week out, which I think majority of our healing really started in February. So we've got that Aquarian energy there that we're going to have to kind of process. It's like the final challenges, the final revisits, and making sure that we got a handle on it. So we've got Aquarius, then we're moving into Pisces, which is, you know, we've just done Pisces season, guys. And if you don't know what that was all about, well, like recheck, just have a look at what you've been through over the last month before we hit Aries, just I think it was about a week ago now, or almost 2 weeks ago now. And we've just done that full on Pisces, which is all that water and dealing with all the subconscious stuff rising up. So on the 9th with Aquarius, that's the air energy coming in. That's a lot of mental energy, a lot of fast and energy. It can be full on, but it can also be a nice breeze. But with Aquarian energy, my moon is in Aquarius, so it always highlights the Aquarian element in me. But it's very revolutionary. It's very think outside the box, try new things, you know, start a revolution kind of deal. But with Pisces, it's very subconscious, very healing, very I would say that if I could put Pisces energy down to a feeling, Pisces energy is like a lucid dream to me. It's like things are not really always what they seem, but they're kind of symbolic, but your intuition is heightened to a huge point. I kind of like it. Pisces is my rising, so I like that kind of ability to kind of really delve deep into our emotions and delve deep into our intuitive self. And then we're moving into Aries, which is the current sun sign that we are in right now is Aries. We'll be moving into Taurus next week. So on the 19th, I believe we move into Taurus. So we've got this Aries energy. So we've got Aries moon and Aries sun this week. And that's that real fire energy. So we're moving into that fire element. The passions can be coming up. The passions can be rising. With that, frustration and anger can be rising. Also stubbornness can be rising. But if you want to get something done, 14th through to the 15th, 16th are your days to really push on something and really get things going, or really get to the completion point of those things so you can start new. And Aries being the beginning of the zodiac helps you to get to something new. And then at the end of the week, we've got the 16th, which is we've got Taurus, which is our earth energy. And oh my God, I love Taurus energy. It is so grounding. It is so stable. It is a rock for me. I love Taurus energy. So we've got that really Taurus energy in, which I feel is going to give us a little bit of an insight to the energy that we'll get when we move into Taurus with the sun in Taurus. And it's going to give us a little bit of insight what we can expect for the next 4 weeks, 4 weeks ahead. So it's like the universe is kind of going, here's a little bit of what's coming for you. And the moon's really going to be kind of highlighting it for us. So the tarot card for this week is the 9 of Wands. And why I like that, I love the fact that we're starting out the week on the 9th of April. We've got the 9 of Wands. The 9 is a symbol of completion, of endings, which is fantastic. So this is saying, hey, this cycle is in its death throes. We are collectively going through this, which I love, and I feel it so deeply within my own self and my own world. But for all of us, we are going through this point of completion. But before we can complete it, there is one last challenge where you do feel a bit like this wounded soldier. I think a lot of you are feeling that vulnerable kind of energy, that real tiredness, that exhaustion. But you know that you just need to keep going, or keep holding your ground, standing your ground, and know that with courage, persistence, you will be able to move through this and start fresh and start new. This may also symbolize to a lot of you this week, you may have a couple of setbacks on things that you've been trying to complete, or new things are going to come up around those things that you were trying to complete them, but here's another hurdle for you to jump over. This can also be that you just need to just have a bit more faith. Just continue to hold the faith throughout that process. This is really testing your resilience is kind of what they're saying here. It's like they're really seeing how far they can push us in a way. I think this is a good card. This shows me that we are really at the end of it. And so many of you going, and I'm sure you've said it, I've said it a few times, it's like, when will this end? This is it, guys. Like, this is the completion week of cycles. I believe that Pisces, that Chiron is moving out of Pisces, which is really cool. So we're moving into a new sign there. And there is a lot of stuff kind of ending, and they're big cycles. And this is a 7-year cycle that is coming to its completion at this point. We've got some energies, some real earthy anchoring energies coming through. So we're anchoring this new earth at the end of this week. So and also the 22nd marks the end of the Mercury retrograde. So we're coming to the completion of the Mercury retrograde as well. Lots of endings in good ways. So that's really fantastic that we've got that kind of energy coming up. But they really wanted you guys to know, the most important thing to know is that the things that you go through this week are really those moments. So with the Aquarius moon, it's the completion of that Aquarius energies that you've just learned over the last year. Then we've got the completion of the Pisces energy, completion of the Aries energy, of these old lessons. Once those are completed, they're done. And also with, Taurus and Gemini energies, until we hit the 22nd of Mercury, I think 22nd of April, we're still going to see those completion points under those signs. But I do like the fact that we have an air, a water, a fire, and an earth sign this week. It's like they're bringing all of the 4 elements. They're bringing all of the stuff to the table. It's all laid out there for you. It's all there ready to be completed. And, all the cards are there. The universe is giving you all the cards to just, see it all for what it is, to to complete those puzzle pieces that you've been trying to put together. I know for me personally, like I watched a video today on something that I normally don't watch, but I've been asking for a really long time to understand what beauty is and what it really looks like and what it means, and, you know, from a high perspective, because I'm sick of seeing beauty from, you know, the standard of, you know, what the world kind of dictates beauty to be. So to me, I was like, you know, send me somebody that can teach me beauty from a new perspective. And so they've done that, which is fantastic. And I found a really great teacher called, her name's Anita June. If you haven't seen her, look her up. She's on Vimeo. I don't think she's really on YouTube, but she's on Vimeo. If not, check out Veronica Cresto, and she's got a video with Anita June, and she talks about like our own beauty as a way of being authentically aligned and being really being able to draw people in from a purpose point, so that your visual self matches your purpose and your vision, or not your vision, but your divine purpose, because we're born to look the way that we are to be in the world. So yeah, it's a really interesting new perspective. And if you haven't, check her out and go see what she's all about, because I think the more people that understand that perspective of it, the more women I think will be empowered to understand that they are perfect the way that they were born, and perfect the way that they are, and that they have their own medicine just by how they look. So I thought that was really cool. All right, so let's get into cards. This week we are going to work with Kim Dryer's Conscious Spirit Oracle. This is legit one of my favorite decks. I have had this since the beginning of my journey as like a YouTuber, and one of the first decks this was the first deck I ever bought for me. And at the time it was quite expensive. I was pretty broke at the time, but I was like, no, I need it. And since then, yeah, I dig Kim Dryer's work. So fantastic deck. So this is Conscious Spirit Oracle. And we're also going to work with the Light Language Oracle, which will be released hopefully in the next 2 months. So this one is my Oracle deck. So it's the Light Language Oracle. The artwork concept was my own, but the digitalization of the deck was done by Lily Marie Mills. You can check her out as Lily. I think she's Lily Marie Mills Artwork, or just Lily Mills Artwork. But I will definitely get you guys the link so you can check out her art, because it's phenomenal. Like, it's so cool. So we're going to pull some cards for the week ahead and see what energies are coming up. Okay. I think it's funny. I went to get like out the stuff for the what do you call it? For our game at the end, and I forgot to get it. So that's the first 2 cards. Whoa, did you see that one leap? Oh my god, the deck's just like flabbing. All right, that's number 3. All right, so at the beginning of I didn't intend to pull this many cards, but it's just like kind of happened that way. All right, so the beginning of the week, I like this. We've got the crown chakra, which is so connected in with that. What do you call it? Look how much light is coming out of these cards today. So this really taps into the Aquarius energy. And we've also got, so that's the crown chakra. Then we've got the butterfly and Juliet Capulet, which is all about new and true love, personal transformation, coming out of the shell, stepping into the light, which like all of these things are so aligned with what's going on right now. Whoa. So the crown chakra says, I know that I am a part of source. My life is guided by divine wisdom. This is a very this is where we're getting a lot of downloads at the beginning of the week. Oh. Mommy. Hey, yo, Bubba. Mommy. I'll be right out. Okay.
Come on.
All right.
You waited until I was trying to change already. Aries is bum.
Mommy, come on.
I'll be out soon, Bubba. Sorry.
That was rude.
Oh, sick toddlers are not fun. Okay, so this is when we're getting a lot of downloads at the beginning of the week. I love this energy of Juliet Capulet. Her wisdom is about new and true love, but it's also about new beginnings, the fresh starts. She's spring in her energy, which I think whenever I think of Aquarius, I really do feel like, you know, it is the new age. It's the new, this new revolution. I just realized I got snot all over my shoulder. Yeah. So it's this real point of new beginnings that have come from these downloads. Finally, we're getting these massive integrations. I feel like this is also a sign of inspiration coming in, perhaps inspiration that you know, it's like you had to do some clearing out of old beliefs so this new could come in. I do think there's a new start for many people at the beginning of the week. So this is Monday, Tuesday, and I like the fact this has got a little moth down here too, because on this card we've got the butterfly and the moth, but both of them are attracted to their light, which is the flower. So it could be the light of, so seeing light in the darkness, or the sunlight, or the flower. You know, it's like we're being attracted to the path that we are called to. You know, butterflies are attracted to their flowers. So it's like finding that which we are, I guess, destined to connect with, and finally, I guess, breaking through, which is always a bonus. Yeah. This is also a karmic week. So this one, the number at the top is 26, which becomes an 8. Sorry, I've got, cold brain. So this is a karmic reward for past work well done. Okay, middle of the week. We've got the Waratah fairy. I love how much this is illuminating when I just put it there. The Waratah fairy, which is about having courage, about grief, and about shadow. Pisces energy that's coming up with that moon is going to be quite strong. And then Archangel Michael, fantastic card to have along with that. He says, I am grateful for the strength and courage Archangel Michael brings into my life. And that's a 7 number. So like, know that miracles can come throughout this process. The Waratah fairy is really an interesting guide. They've always got this, and she's always had this energy to me of overcoming grief, overcoming hard times, overcoming hardship, knowing that, because with the Waratah, I'm pretty sure it's the Waratah from memory, but the Waratah itself, I think it needs to go through a real burning. I think they have to light them on fire for them to release their seeds, from memory. But what I'm gonna do, because I'm feeling like I'm really feeling called to read it, because I think, you know, here we go. I like this. This is so perfect. And I hope you guys are okay with me reading it direct from the manuscript, but I feel like it's perfect. This beautiful Australian fairy has met with darkness and soul grief, yet has the tenacity and courage to break through the most challenging of obstacles. So that's lining up with, you know, the final obstacle. So for many of you, this will be around the Wednesday. I'm feeling more Wednesday than Thursday, but Wednesday, Thursday mark. She offers you the tools you need to break free from what is keeping you stagnant in sadness or in fear. So this is the energy that's helping you to overcome and step really fully into the light. So you can see it clearly. What is it that's keeping me stuck? What's keeping me stagnant? What is holding me in fear? When dealing with a loss, be it a job, a relationship, a death of a loved one, the Waratah fairy reminds us that even after the fire and destruction, we will rise again, shooting upwards from the roots, only to blossom shortly after the struggle. I'm getting tingles all through my body right now. This card symbolizes either the beginning of a dark soul journey or asks you to break free from the chains holding you captive. So this is like you have been on I feel for many of you, it's more likely to be that you have been on this dark soul journey for a really, really long time, but that you are now at a point where you are ready to break free, or that you've finally seen what it is that is holding you captive and you are able to finally step free from it. Those of you that are entering the dark soul journey, this is a time of shadow work. It may only last for 2 days, because you don't have to be in shadow for months and years. You can do shadow work and come out of it, you know, within one cycle. That's pretty easy. You can do it in one day. You know, it doesn't mean that it won't have long-lasting effects, but you can do shadow work in one day and then allow it to process for a while. This fairy reminds you that turning inward is nothing to be ashamed of. So taking time away, you're allowed to do that. Your feelings are valid. Take time to grieve in the process. This is a form of self-care. So the reason I learned this one was because I was grieving after the loss of our first baby, and she came to me and she was talking with me. And I started working with, I believe it was a Waratah flower essence. And so I was working with that, and I realized that I was just rushing through the grieving process, that I just wanted to get it over and done with and move on and try again for another baby. You know, the idea of being sad over something that I didn't get a chance to know in the flesh, and I didn't really get to, you know, get that in-person connection, even though I had that huge soul connection with this child. You know, I felt ashamed in my grieving. And the Waratah fairy was such a gift in me, knowing that, you know, regardless of that feeling of grief, that, you know, it's okay, and you're allowed to grieve that and grieve that desire and that loss. And also the Waratah fairy came up to me as well when my brother had leukemia a few years back, and thankfully, you know, he's still with us and he got through it all. But the Waratah fairy, I channeled this guide properly in color during his time of when we just had found out that, you know, he had leukemia. And for me, it was like I had to like, there was a few reasons that went through. Like, I had to grieve the fact that I couldn't just jump into having my next child, which was Aries. I wasn't able to conceive at the time. I was too stressed anyway. So it took 8 months to conceive Aries. I was grieving because I could be losing my brother. It felt like I'd already lost him. You know, that sometimes just knowing that answer, like getting that, you know, diagnosis, it's like it's almost like a death sentence. Like, you know that you're probably going to lose them. So, you know, having all that come up, you know, maybe that might be something that comes up for you guys this week. Maybe either, you know, you might find that you are losing someone, or you have lost someone in the past that you've just felt really like, maybe I shouldn't grieve for them, or maybe it's not worthy my time to grieve for them, or maybe I didn't have a connection with them the way I feel I should have had. But know that it's okay to grieve, and that you are totally allowed to grieve, regardless of what you think you should have had, or think what should have had in the past. You're allowed to, and you know, you grieve how you grieve. So this is the final little bit of the message. This is a time to slow down and take care of yourself. This will ensure your roots stay strong, and you will grow again into a more beautiful and vibrant flower. So this is about setting a strong foundation, so that, you know, down the track you don't get to the point where you suddenly have to revisit this and revisit the grieving, and to revisit. This could also, they're showing me, like, this could also be around financial matters. It could be that you need to learn how to set a strong financial foundation. Perhaps you need to learn how to set a strong foundation in your relationships with people. And so that in the future, you don't have to come to this point where you have not set a strong foundation, so it like falls away. It's like, you know, I think it's a parable or something. I'm not really sure what it's called, but where Jesus was talking about the man who built his house on sand and the one who built his house on the rock. You know, which one offered a better foundation? So that's kind of what they're bringing up there. All right, let's move on to the next part of the week, end of the week. This is where the faith point comes in, guys. This energy feels like it's really going to be kind of prominent moving into the end of the week. However, we're going to have to shake things up to get it going. So the final 3 cards for the week, and then after this, we're going to do our inspiration game. So the cards for the end of the week, we've got movement, meditation, gratitude. I really love these 2 cards. Hopefully, can you guys see that okay? So we've got movement, meditation, and gratitude. This is root chakra, and this is heart chakra. And then we've got the Bride of Atlantis. And I dig this chick. Like she's been like my guide for the process of this deck coming out. She's all about like having faith and being committed to your dreams or being committed to your beliefs. But this is like perfect again for the tarot card for this week, which is about a test of faith and your faith in your belief system, your faith in yourself, your faith in everything is coming up yet again. With these two cards, so with the gratitude card, I have to read them out because I love them. I love how they've been written. I'm grateful for everyone and everything in my life, the lessons that each of them bring. So this is being grateful for the challenges and the lessons that have come through. And that, you know, seeing where the good has been will lead to more good as well. But just being in that space of real true gratitude for the good that has come in. And I love that it's got the deer medicine because the deer medicine has been coming through a lot lately. And then we've got, I celebrate and honor my physical body through dance and movement. I feel like this is a real sign, like it's time to stop being in this like wallowy state. Not to say that you can't still continue to grieve, you can do that, but it's really important and vital that you get some time outside in the sunshine, that you go dance, that you do some yoga, that you do some Pilates, you know, whatever movement you do. It feels like to start off it really needs to be gentle. And I think especially like and they're showing some of you might have been thinking about Tai Chi, or if you haven't tried Tai Chi before, they're encouraging you to do that. But I feel like this is this is a bit of like womb like energy. I think we've got the full moon coming back in then. I can't remember when the next we've just had a full moon, so we'll be coming into a new moon. I think it's an Aries new moon. I could be wrong, unless it's Taurus new moon. I'll have to check that one for you guys. Should have checked that one out, Chloe. That's my inner grandma telling me off. So yeah, so this is all about our faith and commitment. Things could get a bit shadowy right before that dark moon. I do get that sense that I think it's the 16th, maybe. It could be a Taurus new moon. But that is really part of the turning point. So all of this energy, that turning energy, is going to start coming around at the end of the week, where we start turning from this challenges and having to overcome and do all the hard work and revisit all the stuff. And, you know, it's going to start shifting around. Perhaps maybe Mercury will go stationary or something around that point. I'm not really sure. You know, I'm just going off of what I get little insights on. But it feels like that's when that energy is going to start turning around. When we start getting that Taurus energy come in on the 16th, that energy is going to start to turn itself around, and things are going to start opening up on the new spectrum of things. So give yourself space this week. I think that's the main takeaway this week, is give yourself space. There are going to be insights coming in and time for processing. It's not really a time to get going. It's not really a time to be pushing ahead. It is just a time to sit through it, process it all, be in a space of healing emotion, like allow your heart to be in a space of emotional healing. And also I get the sense we're doing a lot of timeline collapsing in the past as well. So that'll be fun. But once we get to the end of the week, getting moving again, because that energy might feel like it's really stuck by that end of the week. It's going to feel quite heavy. Once that Aries energy starts to really kick in with that moon, I feel like it's going to burn away a lot of the old and then help us get into that grounded energy with Taurus moon, which will be on the 16th. Okay. So there you go, guys. That is the weekly energy. Let's move into the game part of this. I love doing the game, guys, because it just makes me feel so good. But it's funny. I got out an oracle deck, an inspiration deck, and I didn't even have that there. That is so weird. I just looked down. There are 2 coins sitting next to me, 2 5-cent pieces with the heads up, and then a little one of the dolphin cards. It's not the whole deck. This is like all of it that's there. It's like, but we've got the free flow card, which is like just go with the energy, be with the flow. So we're going to use the Dragon Fae Oracle. by Lucy Cavendish to do the game element of this. So make sure you write down. I can't actually see comments when I'm in Google Hangouts, but I will check them out afterwards because I can watch a replay and see the live comments come up. But so you guys can pick. We're going to pull 4 cards. So pick a number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, or 1 and 3, whatever you like. Or you can pick all of them because, you know, I find sometimes when I do it, like I get all of them feel like they resonate. So, and what do we need? What support can you give us, Spirit, for the week ahead? Just some insights to support us for the week ahead. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okie dokie. All right, so number 1s, I like this one. And I think this is so perfect. I totally vibe with it. We've got number 23, the lovers at the feast, conscious, aware eating. Oh, it's time to work on that diet again. I like that. Actually, this, so just going, obviously, we've had Easter. Probably all of you have had some sugar. This is about you to get back into 2 things. 1, realizing how important what it is that we're putting in our body and just being a bit more aware of it again. Many of you might have fallen off the bandwagon of treating your body well, especially around your diet. In fact, more likely your diet than exercise or anything else. Your diet has become, when I say diet, just the general eating habits have kind of fallen off the bandwagon, and I feel like maybe that apple she's eating is a bit more rotten than it looks. So they're asking you to kick the sugar again, try getting rid of that habit. Yeah, it's going to be really hard. I think many of you will have kind of gorged yourself. I know we did. We got so much chocolate and I didn't want to bring it home. I gave some of it away. We still had a whole shopping bag full and I'm just going, I just don't want to. So this week, if it's helpful to you guys, this week I'm going to be making bliss balls again because I always find that like using bliss balls as my kind of thing to kind of kick the sugar habit, it's enough chocolate flavor that it helps me to kind of kick it. But this is really encouraging you this week to get back on the healthy food bandwagon, be it doing a smoothie or like, and even if it is just easing yourself into it this week, they're really supporting you in upping your water, getting some fresh fruit and veggies into your body, having, even if you like, if you're still getting that sugar craving, because I know it's how hard it is to come back down off of the sugar ride once you've been on it. But they're also talking about your immune system. And whilst I was eating the chocolate, Spirit was saying this to me as well, that sugar is going to lower your immune system and you're going to get sick. Have you ever wondered why you get sick before the winter even gets here? It's sugar from Easter, guys. Like, you know, so they're really saying, look, your health, your immune system needs rebuilding, and the way to do it is through your diet. Okay. Sugar is, you know, it's causing your immune system to break down and you're more likely to get sick. So please eat healthy, get some better food into your system, and also fresh air. They're showing me like some deep breathing fresh air is really important. And this is like, not just you, this is your partner as well. And normally I'm not an advocate of like pushing shit on your partner, like, you know, but just infuse it into your entire space. Like just get rid of all the shit from the pantry. You know, obviously family units, usually mom is the one that's like doing the food. So being the responsible custodian of the cooking, be the one to get rid of the sugar out of the house and get back into eating better and raising your vibration through your diet, because at the moment it's feeling pretty shit because you're not putting the right fuel in. Alrighty. So the next card is the Sovereign. Oh, also the number 23 is 5, which is about change and changing your diet. Okay. So number 38, we've got 8, 11. So this is an 11 card, the Sovereign. I dig this card. She's so freaking powerful. This is about you clearing and cleansing off any energies that are attached to you that are not of your own, getting really into your own power. So this may be you need some time out to raise your vibration, to get yourself to this higher. This looks like this week is very much about like clearing out the old to stand into the new. But this is really asking us to step up and transform into that sovereign being. This means unto your own power, unto your own energy. So clearing out the old, clearing out anything that does not support you, taking some time for meditation, taking some time, and if you're like me and you don't meditate very well, do it in the shower. Trust me, it is the only place I feel like I can actually shut down everything to be like not attached to anything. It's the only space I can meditate is in water. So, and that's what it's been like for me, like pretty much my whole life. My brain just goes so fast. So this is about you just really getting into your own energy, being in your own space, working out what that means to be sovereign to you, because for some of you, maybe you haven't even thought about it. This is really about us stepping into being in our own light, being the light, being our own. But yeah, this is like, especially if you're an empath and you tend to pick up on other people's energies, this is about you, like maybe you need to do a smudge. Maybe you need to do a moon dance. Maybe you need to, get some saltwater spray on your body. Maybe you need to go for a swim in the ocean. Clear off and cut off all of those cords that are kind of hanging around you. Your auric system is in need of some love, which is, if you picked 1 and 2, like those perfectly go together. Your auric system is down and it needs some love and support, and it needs you to clear off the old so that it can raise up again. Also, they're showing me that some of you may have to rethink how you think. The reason why they're saying this is that you may have been saying some things recently, or there may be conversations coming up, but you're not actually coming at it from your own perspective. It's coming from other people's belief systems that have kind of integrated into your own. So working out what your beliefs are, what your values are, what your morals are, and kind of moving back into your own system rather than what has been programmed into you. All right, number 3, which is a number 2, which is divine feminine. The lady grain, open your heart. I like that. Number 2 is a feminine energy. This is a lunar energy as well. So those of you that picked number 3, very likely that you're going to be connected even more into the moon's shifts this week. But this is very feminine. So this is about you opening, being open to receiving, opening up your heart space and being maybe a bit more vulnerable. You may have a connection with the this is a funny totem animal, but the slug, and the slug is all about, it's like similar to the snail, but without the shell. So it's a bit more vulnerable. It's a bit more open, but going slow, being open. They have their own magic, their own power. So, but they're really asking you, yeah, open up your heart. They're like pomegranates there. I feel like maybe being open to new fertile ideas, new directions, new opportunities. Just be open, yeah? Be open to what comes this week. You never know what could happen. Your life could change in an instant this week, and it would be quite surprising, but also not surprising. All right, and the final one, I love this card. All right, this is the Dragon Fae Goddess Tiamat. You are stronger than you think. I know that the energies so far this year have left us feeling pretty tired, pretty run down, pretty vulnerable, feeling like we can't really get back up. Like, how much more will we be pushed down? How much more will we be required to face and see? But Spirit wants you to know, like, you can overcome this final battle. You can overcome this one last challenge. You can make it through. Yeah. It feels like for some of you, it may be you are wanting to take your spiritual path, but you're worried about the financial aspect of taking your path. Spirit wants you to know this, that if you are on your path, your authentic path, that you will be provided for no matter what, that you will be protected on it, and that you will be You will be provided for. So don't feel as though it is too risky or that you wouldn't be able to do it, or and also they want some of you to know that you don't have to quit your day job to follow your spiritual path. It's important to know that you are where you are for a reason and that you can do things where you are at right now. You know when it is time to say no and to step out of that space and to move beyond that space. But just because you feel like you're on a spiritual path and, you know, I can't do waitressing because it's not spiritual. Well, actually, you know, you're serving someone. You're being of service. And it teaches you how to give without, you know, return. But you can overcome this situation that you're in. I think maybe for a lot of you, you're worried that you just can't handle your job anymore and you can't handle being where you're at. And perhaps maybe, you know, maybe it's time to move on. But for many of you, you are there to serve for a reason. See how you can serve in your own essence and in your own light, the way that you are, perfectly, the way that you are. By being yourself, being your true, authentic self, you can serve in that way there. And that could just be by being your smiley, joyful, happy self and serving, you know. Maybe you work in a call center and the best thing you can do is, like, you know, show kindness and compassion to people. Or to be that person, you know, in the office that, you know, bakes a cake once a week, and you could be one of those like vegan, like raw cakes, but you've done it your own way, you know what I mean? And you've done and given love the way that you know how to do it. Perhaps maybe that's what your calling is at the moment. Doesn't say that it won't be that down the road, you know. You've got your own. It looks different for everybody, and you know that you can overcome whatever this challenge is. Yeah. You are so much stronger than you think. And once you move beyond the I can't into I am and I can, then you will see some big changes in your life. So, okie dokie. Well, that is all for the week ahead, and hopefully that supports you the way that you need. If you'd like to book a reading with me, I do have times available for the second half of April, as I am going to take until the retrograde off from reading, but you can book in for post the 22nd. And I get the sense that things are going to get quite busy. So, yeah, if you're interested in booking with me, please let me know. I'm trying to get a website up and running so you guys can actually book in through the website, so it's a bit easier. And so it's easier than like trying to organize times and whatnot. But yeah, so hopefully that'll be providing universe provides, it will, that it'll all come together. But you'll be able to purchase things through the Wild She rather than through Mama Heart Spaces. That's kind of my channeling page at this point in time. And if you haven't, please come over to Facebook and join us in the Temple for the Wild Woman, where there is a fantastic little community growing there. I gotta say, like, I am in love with how you're all operating there and communicating there, and just kind of giving each other the space you need to be who you are, and that is exactly what we all need. So it's been fantastic to see that grow, and I just want to just give a shout out to all of you that are there, how much I love you all and I appreciate you all so much. And hopefully I'll be back doing lives there again soon. Otherwise, I know that this cold probably is going to kick me out for a while, but I will be back to do some more live videos here on YouTube in a few days, hopefully. And I really want to talk about period power and how it can help us work with our seasons and work with our direction. And I had inspiration yesterday on something new, but I cannot remember what it is now because my brain is a bit bit goopy. But anyway, guys, big love. Also, it's 3:23, so I gotta go look up that number. That's kind of cool. All right, big love to you all. Thanks, guys, for joining me. My name is Chloe Metcalf, and I will be back with you again next week on the weekly energy update. Have a fantastic week, and also happy anniversary to my husband. Bye, guys.